I'm just back now from Tanzania, where I'm working with efforts to scale something called learner guides, which are being implemented by an NGO called CAMFED, an extraordinarily good NGO headquartered primarily in the UK. And what it started out doing was scholarship programs for rural poor girls in southern Africa, particularly Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Tanzania. And there are now hundreds of thousands of young women who finished school thanks to scholarships that CAMFED was able to put together for them. What they realized was that the people coming through these programs were themselves an important asset. And so the idea is, what could we both help them to do that and also use them to do that would serve a public purpose as well as helping to advance their own careers and lives. And one of the things CAMFED came up with is this idea of trying to use these young women as volunteers going back into the school system, often the same school they graduated from, to teach life skills to Form 1 students. In that situation, and I must tell you, if you see this is quite extraordinary what they do, getting people talking about things like being pressured into sex, the idea of human agency and taking control of your own life, and so on. To watch young people lead young people in discussions about that is really something to behold. But having now reached quite a large scale in Tanzania, they're looking to the possibility of going national with this. Up to this point, it's through government schools, but it's really a CAMFED-led program. And CAMFED and the young women who graduated are the staffing for the program in support of the school system, but not organized, managed, or funded by the school system. If this was to go national, it would have to make a complete flip on that, and it would have to be the governments that are authorizing, capacitating, leading, and to some extent funding the effort. Just to give you a sense, CAMFED now, with the current phase of expansion, is in about 9% of the schools. So that means going from 9 to 100, you could imagine a model where CAMFED would just keep growing and growing and growing, but nobody, including CAMFED, thinks that's the right way to solve the problem. So part of the planning process there is to figure out, if it were to go to scale, what role would that mean for the government? What would have to happen between here and there? And would there be a remaining role for CAMFED? If so, what would that role be and how would that be funded? So that's the exercise that they're in the middle of right now. Just to spin that out a tiny bit more, if you think about it, you have questions from top to bottom associated with that. Who even convenes a discussion on that? Is it the government inviting in CAMFED or CAMFED inviting in the government? And so there's going to be a launch of this event, of this whole exercise in Tanzania in late March. And the question under discussion right now with the government includes exactly that. Is this the government's event that CAMFED's participating in, or the reverse?